Starting out with our scat floor side. So we'll start on our backs, bent knees at 45. Arms are going to be at 90 degrees directly out of the shoulder. We're going to inhale at the bottom position, followed by a full exhale, driving the rib cage down as we press overhead. As we press overhead, we want to push our hands into the ground and drive our rib cage down. We're going to use this to create a better position overall with our posture for pressing or any other upper body and lower body movements. From there, we're moving on to our sideline windmill. So we're going to start on our side. Top knee is going to bend at 90 degrees and drape over the body. Hands are going to start stacked in the bottom in a prayer position. We're going to windmill open as far as we can. When we get to our open position, we want to reach with the bottom side arm. So again, windmill, following the ground, reach. Once we get to that position, we want to breathe 2 to 3 deep, deep belly breaths. Inhale, exhale, using that breath to create a better position. 90-90 Z-sit series. So we're going to start tall, 90 degrees at the front and back hip. When we get to that position, we're going to keep that spine long, so we don't want to bend at the waist as we do what we call little push-ups coming around the hip, the knee, and then the shin. Once again, using breathing to help us create better positions. From there, we're going to do what we call a CARS, or controlled articular rotation hip switch. So we're going to open one side while controlling on the back side and fighting that rotation. Once we get to our second side of this position, again, create a tall position, sit as tall as you can, keep that long neutral spine, and then we'll go through our push-ups, starting at the hip, moving to the knee, finishing at the shin. Once we've finished our last push-up, we'll come back to the top, taking our hands out in front, creating tension by making a fist. And we're going to open with that backside hip, followed with the lead hip. From there, we'll move into our half-kneeling hip flexor stretch, mixed in with our ankle mobility movement. So we want to squeeze or contract the downside glute. So we're going to squeeze the left side hip as we reach with the left side arm, basically creating that long flexed or extended position at the hip, because most of our day is spent in flexion with sitting. As we do this and reach, we want to rock forward, but be careful not to get hyperextended at the back. So as we slide forward, keep that body directly over the knee. We'll move from there to our Spider-Man with our reach to triangle. So we're going to start in the deep lunge or Spider-Man position. From there, we're going to rotate in towards the knee, reaching with the inside arm as high as we can. We're going to have our eyes follow our hand. We'll do that 3 to 5 times, and then we want to rock back onto that hip, creating that hamstring stretch or triangle position. Again, reaching on the inside, creating a long position from your heel to your head. We'll do this 3 to 5 times. After our 5th time, we'll sink back into our triangle position, and we'll do that 3 to 5 times as well. That's our mobility series. Moving on to the activation portion. So now we'll start with our mini band walk series. So we're going to loop the mini band right around our ankles. We're going to create about an 18-inch gap between our feet. As we step, we want to maintain that gap, getting no closer than we originally started. So if I step from 18 to 24, I want the 24 to come back to 18 inches, that is. We'll go laterally 20 steps or so each way, and then we're going to go vertically. Same thing here. If I start at about a 6 to 12-inch gap, I want that to be the minimum distance. So we're both creating tension as we're extending or abducting away from the body, and then fighting that resistance as our legs are coming back towards the body. Go forward and backwards there. From our mini band walk series, we're going to move into our Cook hip lift. So we're going to go back to our back, bringing one knee up towards the chest. That's going to lock our lumbar in a good position. From that position, maintain that flexed knee while we drive through the opposite heel, extending the hip. Each one of these, we want to do about a 2 to 3 second contraction. So get to the top, hold 1, 2, return to your starting position. Your focus here is to drive through the heel, feeling it through the hamstring and the glute. If we feel it in the lumbar or the low back, let one of the coaches know. We would do that both sides for about 10 repetitions. Then we're going to move into our banded hip flexor activation. So on this one, we want to throw the mini band around our feet. We're going to come back to that back position, Bent knees at 90 degrees, directly above the hip. We call that 90-90. 90 at the hip, 90 at the knee. We're going to extend one leg as we pull towards our upper half with the opposite leg. So we're actively holding that hip flexor stretch position. 1, 2, 3. Return to neutral and switch. Again, it's a 3-second hold, returning to neutral, and then we switch. So extend one leg as you flex the other. From there, we're going to move back into quadruped, and this time we're going to move into our bird dog. Bird dog is going to be hands and knees, hands under your shoulders, knees under your hips. As we extend one arm, the opposite side leg is going to reach behind. We're going to bring our elbow towards our knee, trying to minimize as much movement in that lower back area or lumbar spine as possible. So we want to cue bringing your belt buckle towards your belly button. So again, we're extending, elbow back to knee, reach. We'll do about 8 to 10 per side. Reset, and we'll do the same. Notice the arm position comes out to where the bicep is directly by the ear. The heel is kicking straight back towards the wall, and we're not getting in that hyperextended position. So we should be in a straight line from our heel to our thumb with each movement. That is our MAPS activation and warm-up series.